the very first challenge that I see people having is they have a plan B. And when you have a plan B, meaning if you're just getting started or you are kind of hesitant to take action, oftentimes it's because there's not enough pain that makes us move forward into a new vision. And one thing that I'll see some people do is they'll literally just say, "Hey, I'm taking a leap. I'm quitting my job." I don't suggest everybody do that. I have seen some people make that work really well, but I do suggest that people get really, really clear that either they truly are going to make this work or not, and just go love your job and don't dream for anything bigger, or just say, "No, I'm going to make this work. There's no plan B."
Hello, folks, and welcome to another episode of Get Diversified. Today, we have a fantastic guest here. We have a real estate investor, a leader, CEO on our podcast. We have Mr. Trevor Mauch here who's with us, and we're going to talk some strategies and get the listeners some nuggets of information of what they need to grow their portfolio, think about things a little different, and look, take action because that's what it's all about. So, Trevor, welcome to the show, sir. How we doing?
Melvin, I'm pumped to be here, buddy. I appreciate allowing me on here with you and your audience, man. I'm pumped about today.
Cool, man. Hey, well, look, happy for the opportunity to have you on the show. I'm intrigued to understand some nuggets, get some learnings from myself, and I'm sure our listeners will be able to kind of do the same thing from that standpoint. Let's kickstart it off. In general sense, tell the world who's Trevor, where you hail from, what are some things you like to do? Go ahead, man.
Dude, for sure, man. So I'm in a little town in Oregon called Roseburg, one that most people probably haven't heard of, but we're 3 hours south of Portland, if people can kind of peg that on the map. And I live in this little town, so as the investor side of me, we've bought up a good hunk of our downtown, and we're working on renovating it and putting amazing apartments upstairs and retail downstairs, and working on beautifying downtown. But from the perspective, that's not my full-time business. The full-time is a software company, carrot.com. And what we're going to talk about today, with the marketing tactics that pros use versus the beginner or lazy investors use, that comes from our 5,000 plus clients, 10 million plus seller leads that our clients have generated, and over $1 billion in wholesale and flip deals that have came through to fruition in the last 10 years. So what we're going to be dropping on people is coming from experience, from our huge user base, man. It's gonna be fun.
Cool. So let's jump in, man. Let's talk about the user base, right? Taking advantage, taking the action to go ahead and invest. So why don't you share some nuggets with your point of view from real estate investing? What do you think from a futuristic standpoint? Kind of how you kind of matriculated from before to kind of where we are now. So you want to share the journey for the listener?
Dude, for sure, man. So I bought my first property, Melvin, when I was in college, actually. So this would have been 2004. I was the guy who felt I was too young to do real estate. People wouldn't take me seriously. Like we all have reasons why we think something's not going to work, right? Limiting beliefs. And that was mine at that time, because I was 21 in college, had no money. And the first deal was 100% Carlton sheets. I've got the no money down course right there on my shelf over there. The old course from back in the day, man. And I did it. My dad challenged me at that time, and he said, "Hey," he had the course on his shelf, and I was kind of getting interested in real estate. And he said, "Hey, Trev, I'll give you this course if you buy a property using this course within, before the end of the year." And this is like February of that year. He goes, "You won't have to pay me $500 for the course, but if you accept this challenge and you don't buy a property by the end of the year, you got to pay me the $500 for the course." And so it was a cool challenge by my dad. I took the challenge and I learned a lot, was in all the forums, Melvin. I was looking through all the things, wasn't taking action. Then finally I just said, let me just simplify it, go do a few things. And I got my first property, no money down, cash flowed from day one. It was a 4-unit building by our college. And I still own that one today. And that's what started my real estate journey.
Nice, nice. For me, it was a duplex. I
Yeah.
was living in Nebraska, decided to take a chance on investing after I went to a seminar. At the time, it was Brookview Financial, and I bought a duplex for $32,000.
There we go, man. Yeah.
And ended up selling it, cash flowing. And I'm an affordable housing guy, so I mean that's cool. That is cool to see that you took a challenge, you took action, and your father even put, "Why not?" Right? I mean, what do you got to
Yeah.
look right? So wow,
Exactly. And with that deal was owner carry. So that the owner
okay,
carried back a 30-year note.
that's
That
right.
note is still in place today. And dude, I just took that strategy over and over again. So I'm not a flipper or wholesaler myself. I've been involved in 50 plus flips and wholesales from the marketing side as a partner, but I'm a buy and hold guy. And almost all of our all is owner carry. And I've just kept repeating that same thing, man. Try to buy a good commercial property once every couple of years, owner carry, and cash flow from day one. That's
Beautiful.
my micro strategy.
Beautiful. So for the listeners out there, you see what Trevor did. He took a challenge from his father. He acted on it. He's a buy and hold guy. We're both buy and hold guys.
Yep.
I hold forever. Let
Yep.
it cash flow. You burn your time back, I see, right? You know what I mean? You keep doing the same thing and
That's
you're
right.
holding generational wealth. This is how it's built. So, okay, okay, good, good, good. Getting
Exactly.
some more nuggets here. So, push us through. So, you took your dad's challenge. You've kind of been buying and holding ever since. What was the
Yep.
trajectory? How we're growing? What about today? What are you working on?
Yeah. So, so over those next years, graduated college, moved up to Portland, the big city, got
Mm,
married after that. And I
yep,
thought I
yep.
wanted to be a wholesaler. What I found, Melvin, was as I was diving in, learning the wholesaling game, at least for me, I'm going, man, I love real estate, but I love it from the long-term hold perspective, like we talk, right? The long-term wealth perspective. But I wasn't loving the day-to-day work as a wholesaler. Now, I didn't actually wholesale a deal myself, but I learned how to market. And over those years, like I said, about every other year, I would acquire a commercial property, owner carry. So we own 8 or 9 commercial properties that are all owner carry except for one. We have good equity in them. They're a mix between residential and retail. So most of
Okay.
the properties, part of my strategy is we try to find buildings that are underutilized that have an upstairs in a good, usually a rural downtown that are underutilized. We put residential upstairs because that's consistent. It's going to pay the bills. It's strong. They're easy to rent. And then we have retail, and we partner with people in our local communities to start businesses or grow their retail businesses. So that's been our little strategy. Every couple of years, like I said, we'll buy a commercial property and do that. But what I did was I said, for my active income, I really started to enjoy marketing. And this would have been 2007 or so. I built my first website. I learned how to get leads online, learned how to create content that got in front of all kinds of prospects, from sellers to buyers to other industries outside of real estate. And then fast forward, Elvin, over the next decade, I really honed that skill set. How do we create not just websites, but how do we actually attract the most motivated prospects through the internet, where everybody's going today? I mean, right now, Chat GPT rolled out their new browser. How does that impact a seller coming to the internet to look for a person to sell their home to? Well, that's what we do at Carrot, is we help you get in front of those most motivated sellers, to the tune of about 800,000 seller leads a year come through our platform. And like I said, over $1 billion in deals have been done through those leads. So that's we started that company 2014.
Okay.
Before that, it was about 5 years of me learning how to market and drive a ton of leads in the real estate market, and saw a bigger challenge that we could help investors with.
Gotcha. So in hindsight, you're an integrator, right? In hindsight, you're an integrator, right? In terms of
Yep.
helping to see it from end to end and bringing it in. Man, that's fantastic that you're able to kind of get that volume of transactions in the grand scheme of things, man. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's interesting. Another point you brought up in terms of you look for retail, commercial buildings. You can get businesses in the bottom where you can do a residential multifamily up at the top. You know, s- even out my way, we've acquired some buildings as well, and it has been a challenge to get businesses to kind of integrate into the retail space. And we
Yeah.
target opportunity zones. So I guess a question from me to you directly in terms of,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, how are you, what's give me a tactic in terms of getting folks to kind of come into from a retail standpoint, right? Or is it first time businesses? Are you getting mature businesses in the retail spots? Just nuggets of intel there from a question standpoint there for you.
Yeah, for sure, man. So we're in an opportunity zone where I'm standing
Okay.
right now. It's an opportunity zone as well. It's like I said, it's a
Okay.
small rural town. This downtown in the 60s used to be the main commerce center of the town. It's a big
Okay.
timber town is where I live. And then timber had some challenges in the 90s. Malls started to get built on the other side of town. And then downtown kind of got decimated, right? It became really transient as far as businesses coming in and coming out. And so we actually came in, Melvin. One of the things that we did is we started to build a community in this town where we were doing entrepreneur meetups actually every month for almost 10 years. And it took a while to grow, but we did it in this building. This building I'm in right now is an 8,000 square foot we're upstairs in this building, 8,000 square foot. We turned it into an entrepreneur co-workspace. Part of my business runs out of here. We have, 50 or so employees. We have 6 here locally. The rest are remote. And so that was the first thing, dude, is we're passionate about this area. Our strategy was, let's hyper concentrate where we're buying. We're going to buy multiple properties in one area. So then when we can get them filled and create energy, it actually helps all the properties do better. Rather than buying one property in this little town and then one property in this little town, we thought if we can buy a bunch in one area and fill them and create energy, everything's going to grow. So we would do the monthly entrepreneur meetup. We were getting 50 to 70 people every month showing up. We would talk about entrepreneurship. And most of those people were just small town retail business owners, right? They weren't software company owners or people growing big businesses. They just want to be a part of something. So that was where a lot of it came. Was we would talk to people and they either had something that they already loved to do and it was across town in a really bad space, or they wanted to start. And so we would work with people to figure out what they wanted. Then we would literally look for the properties, and when they would come up for sale, we already had 2 or 3 people that could go into those properties. And so we would purchase it, immediately work with the people and get them into those properties. Yeah, another thing that we will do is we'll look for those businesses that we think could be a great business that fits in with our downtown here that are
Okay.
across town, and we'll reach out to them and say, "Hey, downtown is growing and here's some amazing things that are happening with it. Have you ever thought about coming downtown?" If they show interest in it, we'll start to bring them down, show them what's happening downtown, and hopefully get more people away from the other side of town over here and make it more of a commerce area. Living side, living downtown, it's been odd because we have all these amazing second stories that have been underutilized and people weren't creating apartments here and they weren't living down here because there weren't the resources. There wasn't the shopping, the things like that, the restaurants. And now that the restaurants have been growing, now people want to live downtown. So we're actually renting those at a decent premium. They're 700 square foot, 750 square foot, really, really well done apartments that are renting for 1,200 bucks, 1,250 a month. Um, and it's working great. So that's been our strategy, man, is hyper in an area or two and say, how can we buy multiple properties in that area, build community, and get people to want to be a part of it?
Okay. 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 Unique tactic, man. Given you're in opportunity zone also as well, so that's pretty
Yeah.
intriguing and interesting because
Yeah.
I'm in opportunity zones also as well. So
Yeah.
that I gotta make sure I can golf in the show notes, man, because I got a tactic I can build on my side also as well. So, fantastic, man. So, so let's talk about tactics, right? A lot of
Yep.
real estate investors out there are folks who claim to be real estate investors, right? They're the folks who they never take action, right? Or if they do, they're underutilizing their respective potential, right? So when we think about marketing tactics, I mean, what are some things typically that most investors, from what you've seen, tend to ignore? You want to share some insights on that aspect of things?
Dude, for sure, man. So I'll kind of run through, 6, 7 different things I see that are pretty common with the clients of ours that are struggling and maybe they're newer. Now, I wouldn't call them lazy. Nobody's lazy. I think oftentimes it's fear, right? It's a limiting belief that holds them back from action more than laziness usually. There are some lazy ones out there. If you're one of those ones, listen to this, guys. Step into it, get action, get moving. You can't make things happen if you are being lazy, but most of the time it's a limiting belief. So the first thing I am going to talk about is more of the mindset belief side, right? It is that the very first challenge that I see people having is they have a plan B. And when you have a plan B, meaning if you're just getting started or you are kind of hesitant to take action, oftentimes it's because there's not enough pain that makes us move forward into a new vision, right? And one thing that I'll see some people do is they'll literally just say, "Hey, I'm taking a leap. I'm quitting my job." I don't suggest everybody do that. I have seen some people make that work really well, but I do suggest that people get really, really clear that either they truly are going to make this work or not, and just go love your job and don't dream for anything bigger, or just say, no, I'm going to make this work. There's no plan B. The mindset shift I made back when I first got started, Melvin, and then move to the second tip, was I was struggling for the first 6, 7, 8, 9 months of that first year trying to be an entrepreneur. I graduated college. I chose not to get a job for 12 months because I said, I'm going to give myself 12 months to figure this out. And that is something I would highly suggest everybody do. When you're trying something new, give yourself a long enough runway where you will not even think about quitting before you give it a chance. I'm the 12-month guy. If it's a marketing campaign, I'm a 6-month guy. It's like, I'm not even going to consider this marketing campaign and saying no to it. If I know it works in my market, I'm going to keep working it and working it and working it for at least 6 months until I decide to choose. But the mindset shift is this. It was what I call flip the risk profile. We think that the riskiest thing to do is to take that leap and detach from this nice, safe job that we've got. But what I want you to think about is what do you 100% what is 100% guaranteed to happen if you don't take that leap, right? If you don't take that leap, you're 100% guaranteed to be in your current situation. And that might be okay.
Yes.
You just
Yeah.
have to be okay to say, is this okay? Will I be satisfied in 5 or 10 years if I'm generally in the same position? If the answer is no, then you have a 100% chance to have that situation versus a really good chance to have some level of success if you take the leap. Worst thing that can happen, you just go back and get a job like you've got now, right? So that's the first thing, is flip the risk profile or remove plan B. The second thing, dude, that I find with marketers who are getting started or they're struggling with their business is they use emotion over math.
Jacqueline and Melvin, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to listen to this episode of Get Diversified. Please make sure to subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss out on future episodes. Finally, stop by our website and follow us on social media. Ciao for now. Make it a great day, and we'll see you next time. And remember, get diversified.